And Gary's tied up.
So now they will not stop teasing me. Because like he wants to go to the volleyball game. And now
Good evening, everyone.
we are starting.
We are starting. That clock is totally wrong.
Ignore the clock.
It is 6 o'clock, and I'm calling to order the Monday, August 19th Board of Supervisors special call meeting. If we could all stand for the pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll move that we adopt the agenda with one change, just for proposed change for efficiency, and that would be to move item 3 into the first position. So that's the discussion of the support for the lobbying money for the school system. If we could put that first, it's my motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Whitson.
Thank you.
All right, just a quick introduction. Board talked about this at your last meeting. The SIFT group, Team 4, has been working on advocacy strategies. Ms. Donahue is involved in that, as is School Board Chair Mills and Dr. Grimsley and a few citizens. The group interviewed 2 potential lobbyists after having a list of 4. We've talked before about the fact that we're really on the short end of state funding, with us receiving the absolute lowest per pupil funding for operations out of all school divisions in the state, and paying the 6th highest per pupil local expenses for operation. And we've been working the last 2-3 sessions to try to get something to change, and the General Assembly have not been successful. And so the SIFT group recommends that the locality hire lobbyists to boots on the ground, try to get this changed. The school board considered a resolution that's very similar to the resolution that's attached to your packet, although from their perspective, when they met last week, the school board committed $10,000 of non-local funding to support the first phase of lobbying. There's an engagement letter attached from, you can see, Troutman and Pepper Strategies, and it lays out basically an iterative approach where from September 1 through December 1, there'll be an effort to dig in and see if there is a way we can make some change. And then there'll be a local decision to decide whether to move forward. The lobbyists would be under agreement with Headwaters Foundation. Thank you for coming. And Headwaters has agreed to host this largely because there is a goal to do some fundraising for phase 2. So phase 1, 20,000, phase 2, 30,000. And the resolution and the narrative in the packet suggests that the locality would pick up phase 1, and then the community and the locality would team together to pick up phase 2, if that makes sense. Yeah, I would happy to answer any questions if you have them.
I'll say that, gosh darn it, sorry, my phone is ringing, my hearing aids, sorry.
It's a great feature.
It is, but it's weird because it's like right in my head. I know that I raised this at least this last budget cycle and have asked the superintendent numerous times of when are you gonna spend real money to get money? And no doubt we've received great support from Delegate Weber. Something obviously has to change. And I always believe that on something that often comes down to $1 million in lost revenue, that we would be remiss not to spend some money to go chase those funds. And people, I think, don't like the word lobbyist, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do and go to where the rubber meets the road. So I'll just say at the outset, I fully support this. Thank goodness. I'm tired of sort of ad hoc. Year after year, we were in crisis mode, maybe, maybe not. And if nothing else, if we get some certainty about the political landscape that informs us from a budgeting perspective of what we realistically can expect and what we should understand about the political dynamics in the state legislature to inform us whether we need to plan accordingly, then so be it. What I would like is that this lobbying firm finds that money or compels enough people to think more carefully about the position we're in. So I think we should do this and see how it goes, because the last 2 years at least have been, we'll just say, frustrating to say the least. And I'm frustrated not so much with the legislature, I'm frustrated that we twice at least have been put into a position in the budget process where we kind of end up in limbo until the last second, only to find out that the money that might have come along didn't. And so if this, again, brings certainty to the process, I'm grateful. Also grateful to all of our citizens who contributed time and energy on these various committees trying to find a solution. But I think it's time to bring a new solution to bear, or a complementary solution to bear on the process.
So I was not at the last meeting. Maybe you all went over this. Who will this person, the firm, report to? Us or the school board? How's it going to work?
Well, ultimately, the engagement is with Headwaters. The intent is that SIFT will continue to be the main interface.
Mm-hmm.
So Panther 4 of SIFT will be the main interface.
Mm-hmm.
But Dr. Grimsley and myself being on staff, we're the ones that aren't volunteering. So I think it'll be cascading as information needs to spread, and it'll be multiple people.
So essentially, you'll brief us.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Any other comments?
Would be a standing agenda item?
If you want, I think the effort is somewhat nuanced in that there's a lot that happens that a lobbyist will do behind the scenes and visiting people and talking to people that really doesn't lend itself to a monthly update to say whose hand was shaken. Whatever.
But maybe a periodic update
Sure.
when there's something to report.
Yeah.
And
there may be stages along the line that the lobbyist thinks that action from the boards would be helpful through formal resolutions or letters, or you going to talk to, board members. Who do you know? And talking to different people.
Okay.
I've heard from a number of constituents in support of this. And I mean, we've talked about it in relation to how our operations, how we're coming into the crazy busy, just crazy time. So it stands to reason that they are at a state level as well. So I think this is good, getting extra help and laser focused help. So That's where I am.
Yep, in talking to Delegate Weber and the VACO conference I was just at, they talked about the timelines of everything that's going on right now. Right now, they're coming up with their bills and everything they're gonna put through. And it sounds like because this is a short session, they only have, the House only has 15 per delegate. So trying to make sure that we have the right person putting the bill up again is very important. Making sure things are happening early and not waiting until January is paramount. And what I learned when I was with the State Association for the Restaurants, these guys have so many things they're looking at that they truly may not understand the issue clearly. And so it took us knocking on doors, walking in with a handout and going, this is truly what happens if you change server tips and make it a $15 an hour job. They're gonna lose money. And they didn't understand that. So with some of the information Gary's pulled to show that we're number one at the, getting the least from the state and number 6 at having to pay the most. I mean, those kind of things are easy to understand, and it's data that's on the state website, not ours. It's not our personal made-up number, it is there. So I think doing the same thing again this year doesn't make sense. I've also heard from some parents that are like, we gotta do something, and I think this is a good opportunity.
So, because I wasn't here at the last discussion, and that previous slide that you had, if, and maybe somebody talked to Troutman Pepper about this, but if we were to do this in conjunction with 2 or 3 of those other people, are we gonna get to February 28th and then they say, if you guys had done this because of the way that the Assembly is looking at this, they don't really care about X, but if you and 3 other counties had done this together, we could have pulled you together, and now we're looking at spending another $75,000. So I'm just wondering, did you guys talk about that?
We talked about our peer group.
Okay, am I correct in assuming that we're going at this alone? We're hiring a lobbyist to lobby on our behalf, not people and data points near us.
That is correct.
Okay.
However, a solution could affect more than just us. If it relates to the cap on supplemental basic aid, then Surrey could also be benefited.
I'm wondering about, economies of scale.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, if this effort's going to cost $100,000, and then you have multiple counties pitching in on it, because that's where you get to in February, is the lobbyist is like, we're there, but we need blah, blah, blah.
The only thing I would say is remember that, that delegate from Roanoke City, he didn't mention any other counties. He mentioned us. And so, I agree that if we could maybe reduce the lobbying fee burden by joining efforts with other counties, and it wouldn't diminish kind of our advocacy for Rappahannock County fund. But I don't know, call me paranoid, but it seems like, at least based on that delegate's public statement, that.
And this chart was intended to talk to, are we paying our fair share?
Yeah.
But, we know we are.
Right. And so it's being able to explain that to somebody from a southern city who is, probably down here somewhere.
What I would want to know is that, in November, if the lobbyist is saying, hey, you could really improve this is the word I'm getting. I want to know that.
I think it's worth.
That's a good question.
And this 2-phase approach, I think, lends itself to that sort of exploration.
That's a really good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, anyone want to make a motion?
So there's a resolution attached to
I will move to adopt the provided resolution and assign $20,000 of the board's contingency fund to support a payment.
$10,000.
$10,000.
Okay,
change that.
Two numbers really matter. Contingency fund to
It says
support
20.
It does.
payment to the Headwaters Foundation to support phase 1 of school funding lobby services.
I'll second that.
You have a motion and a second.
The recommended action was written before the school board took their action.
Okay, so we're correcting that to 10?
Yes.
Yep.
I am glad that we
Sorry.
took a moment to refine the relationships between the parties and the dollar amounts involved from the last board meeting. thank you everyone for their cooperation.
Roll call vote. Ms. Comer?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Whitson?
Aye.
Mr. Carney?
Aye.
And I also.
Excellent. Okay. All right, that brings you to closed meeting, to be briefed by your lead counsel. If someone would be so kind.
Make a motion to conduct a closed meeting. I move that the Rappahannock County Board of Supervisors conduct a closed meeting in accordance with section 2.2-3711.a of the Code of Virginia for the purpose of 1, consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members or consultants pertaining to actual or probable litigation where such consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigating posture of the public body, section 2.2-3711.a7. The subject matter of the closed meeting will be 1, Williams et al., Rappahannock County Board of Supervisors et al., Court of Appeals record number 1585-23-4.
So Mr. Carney made that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call again. Ms. Comer?
Aye.
Ms. Smith? Mr. Whitson?
Aye.
Mr. Carney?
Aye.
And I also.
All right, I'm going to go.
Put the note.
Double thumbs up. Do each of you certify that to the best of your knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened or heard, discussed, or considered by the board in the closed meeting?
Ms. Comer?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Yeah.
Mr. Whitson?
Aye.
Mr. Carney?
Aye.
And I also.
I need an explanation from Ms. Smith.
I think we talked about operational impacts, and I don't think that was covered by our closed session scope.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'll put forward a motion that our board grant permission to our outside legal counsel, Mr. Capps, to prepare and file a petition for appeal with the Supreme Court of Virginia if and when the Court of Appeals determines that it will not rehear the case currently on appeal.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is that all you need, Mr. Curry? Not motion? Okay. Any discussion?
Does the $100,000 litigation cap apply to this case as always, as usual?
Yes.
And depending on how far we are approximately?
Last we checked, halfway for the year, for the final year.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
All right. Anything else before we adjourn?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you all very much.